Welcome to Compassion Speaks, where we give a voice to the community. Joining us today is Dwayne Bartimus, the co-director of Animal Rehabilitation, and Judy Bassett, the director of Public Relations from the White Mountain Nature Center. Welcome.
Hey Stephanie, thank you for having us on the show.
Oh, thank you guys for joining us. And we also have a couple other guests here with us today. Can you introduce these guys?
I certainly can. Sitting there on your desk, that's Terrence the box turtle. Now, Terrence came to us from a family that has had him in their family since 1963. And the dad passed away, and they donated him to our children's education program. We're guessing Terrence is anywhere between 63 years old and 85.
Wow.
So quite up there in age. Over here is Tango. Tango's a Dumeral boa. And you can see right now she weighs in just over 30 pounds and is just about 6¼ feet long.
Wow.
And then this young lady here, she's a red iguana, and this is Gem. And Gem came to us as having a severe case of kidney failure and gout. And we've got that on the recovery, and it looks like she's going to become our mascot for us. But she's got a lot of character and it loves sunbathing today with the 75 degrees outside.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you guys brought all of these beautiful reptiles here so we could really have an idea of what it is that you guys do and the huge variety of animals that people can see whenever they come to your center. So tell us a little bit about the Nature Center.
Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg, actually. These we keep at the Nature Center, but they're actually residents at the White Mountain Reptile Rescue, and we use these for our children's education program. So it's so appropriate to have children pictured behind you. There's nothing like seeing children's face light up when they see this big, beautiful snake, or Gem crawls up next to them. She holds still so often they think she's not real until they get close and she looks them in the eye. And kids get excited, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we have summer programs every 2 weeks. We call it our summer discovery program, and we have everything from the World Wildlife Zoo and Museum to the Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary out in New Mexico. We have the White Mountain Reptile Amphibian Rescue. We have the Avian Ambassadors. We have so many different programs, and a lot of them are hands-on. And so children not only get to see and learn about nature and all the various animals that are both native to Arizona and not, but they also get a chance to actually touch them, and in some cases they get to have them wrap around their shoulders and hold them.
As Tango does. We also had the Rocky Mountain elk join us last year, and so they'll be coming back this year for another event, and that's always fun. We have the wetlands when we go down to the creek, and the kids get to just play in the water and find all sorts of wonderful things under rocks and crawdads and all sorts of amazing things.
There's just so much out here in this area, and you just have to explore. You just have to get out there. It's right in your backyard even, but exploring the mountain is so much fun.
It's amazing that we live in the midst of the forest up here in the mountain, and you wouldn't believe how many children don't know the animals that can be found up here. And they come to our presentations and they're like, "Where's that from?" And we're like, "If you look in your backyard, chances are you're going to see one out there." So they really get excited. Children have become disconnected with nature in many degrees. They're involved in a lot of organized sports where they go from home or school to the sport fields, or they go home and do their homework, or they get on the computer, or there are many other electronic gadgets. So they've become disconnected from nature. And that's the mission of the White Mountain Wildlife Nature Center, is to reconnect those children to nature so they get to appreciate what's around them. And it's amazing how many adults actually, you can see the excitement in their face when they're at our programs, when they touch a wolf, or they get up close with a barn owl, beautiful barn owl, or they have one of our larger snakes, a 10-foot Lanny, wrap around them. It's not fair, but it's actually, they're excited because it's the first time they've done something like that daring in their life. So and that's what we're all about, is reconnecting children and people with nature and many of God's creations here.
Oh, how wonderful. What a great program up here to really reconnect the whole community with the environment that we live in and what they can find around whenever they're exploring themselves, and have a better appreciation for making sure that we can continue to do this for our children and our children's children and so on. Do you guys have any other programs that you want to mention to the viewers?
We have all sorts of things that we're connected with. There's a carnival coming up that we play part in. Walk for the Woods is a wonderful event. And if someone wants more information, they can easily visit our website, whitemountainnaturecenter.org, or if you don't want to type that much, you can do WM Nature. But you can visit that, and then you can go and you can link to Pinterest and see tons of photos from last year's events. So you can get a better idea of what we do, and there's a calendar on the website that shows what we are, when our events are, and how they can get in connection with us. We're always looking for more donations and volunteers, like all volunteer groups up here. And if you can come and you can just spend some time and hang out with us, we would love it. We would love it.
And we're going to be at a number of the local libraries, so they can always contact the library. And we're actually going to have animals there.
Oh.
And we're tying our program in with a lot of their reading programs, summer reading programs. So the children will be able to get to see a number of animals and then be able to check out books that are related to those animals, so they can read a little bit more about them. Wow. So it's more of a hands-on, in-depth reading program. Get them excited about it.
Pique their interest.
So people can check with their local libraries and see when we're going to be there, or even at some of their local schools. I mean, for the next month and a half before schools get out, we're going to be at a number of the local schools. And so we may be there if they just check with their teachers or principals.
Awesome.
And another way that they can find out, we have our flyers that they can find at all of the libraries and at the Chamber of Commerce. So Snowflake, Show Low, the Larson Library in Lakeside. So they can pick one of those up and find out all sorts of stuff about us.
Wonderful, wonderful. And do you guys, if somebody had some questions and they wanted to give you a call, what's the phone number that they can call?
Yes, we do. It is 928, of course, 358-3069.
Okay, wonderful. Well, very good. I'm so excited to hear about this, because I think there's so many programs up here that people just don't know about, and if they knew about it, they'd want to get more involved. They'd want to invest their time to help out in those programs to keep them going. So I'm just so glad that you guys
We can always use volunteers. In fact, we're looking for someone currently that might be able to help us with some of our treasury, our bookkeeping duties. So if there's somebody out in your audience that wants to volunteer for a nature organization that has some bookkeeping experience, we'd love them to contact us.
Well, I know all of our nonprofit organizations, we really thrive on volunteers. That's how we're able to exist and keep going.
And we're in a great community for that.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of great folks in here that support our organizations.
Exactly. We're very lucky to have such a supportive community. So, oh wow, I'm just so excited about this. This is so wonderful. I'm glad that I have the turtle as opposed to the other animals.
Well, I'm excited that you got yourself a baby redfoot tortoise.
Yes. Well, and hopefully we will get to this big from this big.
And they will. You'd be surprised how quickly they can.
I'm going to have to get a bigger cage, a bigger container. So wonderful. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the Nature Center, or anything special that you guys have coming up?
Well, our mailing address is obviously different than our location, because currently we're just developing our site. We're on 10 acres out along Woodland Road out in Lakeside. If you go up to the movie theaters, Woodland Road, and turn right at the light there, you'll just go down about a mile and a half. That's where our site is. Many people have seen the big top, the big green and white tent there, and that's where we hold our presentations currently. This past year, just at the close of last season, we just added our log storage building. So we're developing it, and we're hoping that eventually we're going to get the mortgage paid off, and so we can start putting a permanent building there that will have some educational facilities and display facilities there. But during the summer, stop by the Big Tent. Or if we don't have an event going on, they're always on Saturdays. If we don't have an event going on, take advantage of our trails. We've redone our trails, and they go along big springs out there and out towards Mountain Meadow, so it's a great walk. And you can see so much nature out that way.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of spots where you can stop and you can read more about the forest and what a healthy forest looks like. And that's another one of our popular events. And we'll have live squirrels and just a wonderful nature hike where you can see why thinning is good and what we need to watch out for to keep our forests green.
Especially with our fire season coming up. We've had a very dry winter.
Oh, yes.
And
it's
so
scary.
we have a
It
lot of
really is.
interpretive signs out there where as they're walking, they can stop and read about a healthy forest and maybe pick up some ideas for fire safety on their own property.
Oh, that's a really good
And they can do that
too,
at their
yes.
leisure any morning, noon, and evening.
It's open all the time, and all of our events are free, so it's a great thing for someone to do when they're watching their budget and wanting to have some fun with their kids. So.
Exactly. It's a very family-friendly opportunity to get involved and learn something new and be able to get a better appreciation for what we have around us and
Yes.
be able to handle some really cool animals.
Like we say, come on over to the wild side with the nature side.
Oh, that's a perfect tagline. Very cool. Well, if there's anything else that you want to mention, we still have a couple of minutes left. Is there any way that, anything in particular you want to mention about how people might be able to volunteer, what kind of roles you could use them in?
Actually, when we look at our volunteers, we look at the experience they bring. As I had mentioned, we're looking for someone with bookkeeping experience, but I mean animal handling, someone that's not afraid of picking up a 10-foot snake and helping us feed it or clean its closure, or help us set up for events. Because every event, we've had people up to close to 500 people at some of our events.
Wow.
And so it takes a lot of organization, setting up the tables and the chairs and everything. So, I mean, it could be as simple as setting up for an event or helping out with the nature store or helping out with our bookkeeping. There's so many volunteer opportunities that we do have. And all people have to do is let us know what they would enjoy doing. And it might be conducting one of the tours around big springs.
Oh.
And we provide any training or any information they need, and they could be walking around with the children around big springs. I find that one of the most exciting, like I said.
Right.
It's always fun.
They're finding everything from little ground squirrels to garter snakes to fence lizards, you name it, they find it out there. And there's always that excitement out that way.
Yeah, there's
So it
so
just
much.
depends on what the people would like to do. We have an opportunity.
And we'll always take monetary donations too. There's always things that we need to get. Right now we need more chairs.
Okay.
So people can sit and enjoy the show because we have events that are inside the tent and then also outside. So
Okay.
And if they
so
like
they could just
music,
drop them there.
we've got the White Mountain Chorale that's going to be out there doing the evening pops concert.
oh, that's wonderful.
And it's a great evening when you've got the nice cool breeze in the pines and you've got some nice music to listen to.
Oh.
So we have events going on all the time. And again, I would just stress, like Judy said, if you go to wmnature.org, you can get a hold of our schedule right there and find out what's going on and come on over.
Awesome. Well, Dwayne, Judy, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Thank you for bringing these special guests as well. And I hope we're able to get some more individuals in the community to come and enjoy these programs and see what you guys are all about and help you out as well to continue on in your mission.
Well, thank you again for having
Yes,
us on.
thank you so much.
Thank you guys. And we'll be right back on Compassion Speaks with the Love Kitchen. Welcome back to Compassion Speaks. Here with us now is Lynn Lewis, the manager of the Love Kitchen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm
My
excited
pleasure.
to have you here because we need to we were just talking about getting the word out on the different programs available up here on the mountain. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Love Kitchen?
Absolutely. The Love Kitchen has been on the mountain for 28 years, and we've been serving the White Mountain community through one hot meal a day. We also distribute food boxes, and our numbers just continuously climb. When I took over in 2008, we were doing anywhere from a 60 to 70 daily average, and that daily average has changed from 98 to 102 and up. Wow. So we're seeing a need. Also, the number of children and families that we're serving has just escalated so much over the last couple of years, especially. We've gone from 12% children up to 18% of those numbers are children that we're feeding every day. So that's a challenge, just making sure that we get the word out that it is not just the homeless that we're feeding anymore. There's families, there's people that have gone through loss of jobs, and just whatever their struggle may be. You know, we're also seeing more and more widows just coming up to have that fellowship with other people, just so they're not eating alone. So it's awesome to be able to be there and just have that open to whoever can come through our doors.
And it's such a needed service, obviously. You guys are constantly busy, and this is a 100% free service to members in the community.
It is.
And so tell me about what it is that you guys need to keep your doors open, to keep providing this service.
Well, the biggest need, of course, is finances. Unfortunately, there's always a need there. We bid on the NACOG Job Head Start program, which is the preschool program for children to go to and get that early education and whatnot. And what we do is we actually prepare the meals, breakfast, lunch, and snack for both Pine Top and Sholo centers now. So we've taken on, not only are we feeding those people that come through our doors, but we're feeding over 150 children as well.
Wow.
Those 3 meals. So that's one way that we pay for my salary. And then I was able, through Sholo, to also hire a second person. And so I have that extra little bit of help. But we're looking for fundraising. We've got some big fundraisers that were actually canceled for this summer. So we're looking forward and moving forward with seeing, okay, what can we recreate now? Because as you know, fundraising is about being creative. If you don't have that creativity behind a fundraiser, they usually end up being a struggle.
Yeah.
So fundraising is big. Also a huge need for us as volunteers. Without the volunteers, we could not do what we do. Just impossible. We have got some of the best volunteers. It's like a great big huge family there. They're so much fun. We just have so much fun there. There's days of stress and there's days of, are we gonna pull it off? But we all manage, and everybody has their area of expertise. So if you have a passion for, you know, organizing, cooking, prepping, even we have people that come there and just do dishwashing. That's all they want to do. That's what they like to do, and that's what they do. You can't pull them away to help in the kitchen.
Everybody's got their own forte.
They do. They all have their little niche, and we've got something for everyone. So volunteers is huge, especially in the summer months. We do see a climb in volunteers, but there's certain days that we do have people already booked, groups, big groups that come in. So our biggest need is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, I believe, are still some of those days where we have some areas we could use help. Another thing that a lot of people don't know that we need all the time are just your plastic grocery bags. That's actually what we pack our food boxes in, are those bags or any of the giveaways that we give food-wise every day. So.
And most people have a huge collection of those that builds up after each trip to the grocery store.
And if you're dropping them at Walmart in their nice little handy dandy bin, chances are if I run out, I'm running to Walmart saying, can we please have those recyclable bags? So I'm working towards getting a container built. I think we have a Boy Scout troop that may be interested in that.
Fun.
So we'll have a little drop where they can put those bags if we're not open. So that'll be nice.
Wonderful. What an easy way to support you guys, you know, because at at some point you have to get rid of that load of bags that you have
Yes.
building up in your house.
Yes.
And what else to do with it if you throw them away or if you send them back to Walmart? In this case, you're actually helping out a local nonprofit.
It is.
With their
It's
mission.
being recycled in a great way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, what else? Is there anything else that you want to mention about you guys and anything you have coming up or any other ways that the community can support you?
Well, we always are looking for any type of donations, whether it's food. If there are some household items, we do carry a little bit in case we run into a homeless situation that may be moving, transitioning into a new apartment or whatnot, and they have nothing. We try to keep some of those things on hand, but there's so many great organizations like Hopeful Treasures that can also help with that. So we don't keep very much, and if we can't use it, we send it on to other organizations. But always food donations, if you're cleaning out your fridge, whatever the case may be from the end of the summer, we take all of that. Any of your paper products, if you're out buying paper towels for yourself, grab an extra one for us. It's one of those items that we use. Also toilet paper, we have a public restroom. So those are things that we have to keep in stock at all time. Plastic wares, you name it. If you're using it at home, we are using it at the kitchen diligently. So we can always put something to use.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really. Well, and it just goes to show, you know, that the littlest things can help, from the grocery bags to a roll of paper towels to some paper plates, you know, whatever it is
Exactly.
that you tend to kind of take for granted, you know, that you
Right.
have these little insignificant items, but how much they make a difference in the work that you do to be able to continue on with the mission of serving people in our community with a warm meal, so that way they can at least have a meal for that day. That might be their one and only meal that they get for that day.
Exactly.
So.
We truly believe in time, talents, and treasures. So if you have any of that, you know, even if it's just coming and sitting and talking with the people, they appreciate that so much. I tell all my volunteers, if there's one thing a person does have that they can keep, it's their story. So people are there and they need to be heard. So if you have that little bit about you, you don't feel like there's any other areas that you can help in. If you just have an ear and the willingness to talk to somebody, that is always welcome as well.
And the stories can be so incredibly moving and eye-opening, you know, to see the struggles that individuals go through. And these are people who live in our community. A lot of times we think, well, that's somewhere else. That's not here. We don't have that problem. We don't have that issue. We don't have community members going through that. But we do.
We do.
And we have to bring visibility to that. And we have to come together as a community to be able to help those individuals and bring all of us to kind of the next level of just that community support and connection, you know?
Exactly.
And how else to do that but to hear the story straight out of the mouth of the person who's gone through that in their lives.
Yes, agreed. Very much so.
Well, I definitely think that programs like yours, we're always struggling to let people know that we exist, that we're a service available, especially even to those who are in need of our services.
Yes.
So we really rely on local community members to spread that word.
Absolutely.
So one thing that I've always kind of challenged people with that I come across that have never heard about us is to say, can you please tell one person in your life that you know about our program? Because that word of mouth travels so incredibly quick, more than, you know, any other form of communication, really.
Exactly.
That's the best way to get the word around.
And it's free.
Yep, exactly.
And nonprofit's like free.
Exactly. So that's what we challenge you guys to do. I would appreciate if you tell one person in your life about the Love Kitchen and what you've learned about the Love Kitchen today. I think that would be so beneficial to just spread that word around and get more people connected with your services that need it, or get some more volunteers and donations coming in too to help you carry out your mission.
Right, yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there anything else you want to mention today about anything Love Kitchen related?
I think we're good. I mean, it's going to be a different kind of summer for us because, like I said, we're moving into some different areas of fundraising. But I believe with all my heart, our community will pull through as they always do. So I would like to tell our community and those that are visiting our community, just be careful with our dry town this time of year.
Yes.
Because it's going to be a scary one.
Absolutely.
And we will be there to help however we can.
Very good. Well, Lynn, thank you so much
Thank
for coming and
you.
joining us today and telling us about the Love Kitchen. And I hope that you'll come back and,
Absolutely.
and keep us up to date on how things are going with you guys.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today on Compassion Speaks, where we give a voice to the community. See you next month.